On June 18, 2023, at 8 a.m., the Titan, a submersible designed to explore the Titanic wreckage, starts its journey into the depths of the North Atlantic Ocean. On board are 5 people, including Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, the company that made the Titan. But tragedy, the Titan suddenly implodes under the immense pressure of the deep sea, which kills everyone instantly. The world is shocked by them. How could this happen to such a high-tech submersible? Was it safe enough for deep-sea exploration? It raises serious questions. Safety of underwater tourism and the dangers of pushing the limits of exploration. But before we get to all that, let's first go back to where it all began. Stockton Rush was born on March 31st, 1962 in San Francisco. He grew up in a wealthy family, the youngest of 5 kids, which gave him lots of opportunities. He loved flying and diving from a very young age and started scuba diving at just 12. And he also became a commercial pilot at the young age of 18. Despite his dreams, Rush faced many challenges. He was told his vision wasn't good enough to be a military pilot, but did that stop him? Not at all. To prove himself, he attended top schools. After graduating in 1980, he went to Princeton University and earned a degree in aerospace engineering in 1984. This gave him a solid understanding of technology and engineering principles. After Princeton, Rush worked as a flight test engineer at McDonnell Douglas, where he got hands-on experience with aerospace technology. One of his proudest moments came in 1989 when he built his first experimental airplane, which he flew throughout his life. His love for the ocean led him to scuba dive in Puget Sound. In 2006, he made his first submarine trip and became obsessed with exploring the ocean depth. Frustrated by the lack of privately owned submarines, he started working day and night to build his own. He eventually made a 13-foot submarine using plans from a retired Navy commander. In 2009, he teamed up with Guillermo Sonline to start OceanGate. Their goal was to build submarines that could go deeper into the ocean than ever before. Unfortunately, in 2013, Sonline left the company, but Rush kept pushing forward. Rush wanted to push the limits of exploration and find new ways to learn about the ocean. He led the team in creating advanced submersibles like the Titan that could go into the deepest, most challenging parts of the ocean to help scientists learn more. This was the time when things got dangerous. His heavy reliance on technology was about to cause his downfall. From the start, Stockton Rush had a big dream for ocean. He wanted to make underwater tourism a reality, making deep-sea exploration accessible to everyone, not just scientists. He even believed it could become as common as space travel. At first, Rush built mini submarines to test and improve underwater technology. This was a big deal for OceanGate, showing just how powerful small submarines could be. But that was just the start. The next big step was the Titan submersible, a submarine that could go deep into the ocean. But that was hard because the deep ocean is dark, cold, and has a lot of pressure. Tackling these extreme conditions meant working around the clock on tech and engineering. This was not a smooth road and brought many challenges. OceanGate faced obstacles like creating materials and technology that could handle the intense pressure and cold of the deep ocean. Things got tougher when they faced criticism. Some said the industry wasn't safe enough, worrying about risks to people and the environment. Many thought deep-sea exploration was too dangerous. But who could stop Rush once he made up his mind? No one. Stockton Rush knew people were worried, but he believed that exploring the deep sea was worth it. He thought fears were overblown and criticized strict regulation. For him, safety is important, but at some point, you have to take risks to achieve great things. But he didn't know this sentence was leading him to death. He was too crazy to go where no one had gone before, discover what was hidden down there, and share it with everyone. Finally, the day came for the execution of the plan. Titan was built. Every detail was carefully planned for safety and performance. It had advanced materials, modern life support, navigation tools, and cameras to capture the ocean floor's sights. So it was time to test it. In 2023, Rush led a deep-sea trip that sadly became famous for all the wrong reasons. He wanted to see how tough his submarine, the Titan, really was, and gather info on how it handled intense pressure. This journey started on a Saturday, June 17, 2023. And according to the plan, the Titan went down to the sea the next morning, Sunday, at 8. 5 people went on this journey. Stockton Rush, the boss of OceanGate, Hamish Harding, who had traveled to space with Jeff Bezos, Paul Henry, an old hand at exploring shipwrecks, and a businessman from Pakistan, Shahzada Dawood, with his son Suleiman. These 5 people went on an expedition to see the wreckage of the Titanic, the ship that sank in and it took over 70 years for it to finally be found. By 1995, filmmaker James Cameron explored the Titanic wreckage before making his movie, and then the Titanic movie was released in 1997. The movie was a huge hit, and now visiting the wreckage has become a dream for many people. The search was difficult due to the harsh conditions of the Atlantic Ocean. All were excited to see the famous Titanic with their own eyes. Before this dive, on June 17th, Hamish Harding posted online, that their dive was delayed due to the cold weather, and they had planned to dive the next morning when the weather would be better. It is said that going to the ocean depths is harder than going to space, mainly because of the intense water pressure. The Titanic lies 4 kilometers underwater, about 5 times deeper than the Burj Khalifa is tall. The pressure at that depth is so great that it's like having an elephant standing on every square inch of your body. But that didn't stop Rush from pushing forward with his plans. However, they were unaware what was going to happen with them just the next morning. On Sunday, June 18th, 2023, Rush and his team met on the MV Polar Prince, the ship that would aid them in their journey to the depths. It usually takes 2 hours to reach the ship, but after 1 hour and 45 minutes, the support ship Polar Prince lost contact. This was only 15 minutes before the estimated arrival time, so the submarine was probably close to the Titanic. The crew on the support ship behind them thought wireless signals could be lost, so initially no one was too worried. The entire trip was supposed to take 7 hours, from noon until 7 p.m. But when there was still no contact by 7 p.m., the crew on the support ship got worried and started searching. At 9:40 p.m., they asked the U.S. Coast Guard for help. The next day, a full search operation began, both on the surface and underwater. Nearby commercial vessels were also asked to keep an eye out. The search went on for 2 days without any luck. Then, on Wednesday morning, the team heard noises from underwater. They sent down remote-operated vehicles, but still couldn't find the Titan. With only a day of oxygen left, the fear of losing the submarine grew stronger. But the search teams from the USA, Canada, and France kept going. Even the whole world was praying for them. The situation was tough, and everyone was talking about the Titan. On Thursday, June 22nd, a remote-operated vehicle found a piece of the Titan's tail near the Titanic wreckage. This meant the submarine had likely imploded under the immense water pressure, and all the members died. This news shocked the world and raised questions about the safety of OceanGate. Why were the Titan destroyed when everything was carefully planned? OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush, who tragically died in 2021, he already admitted about breaking some rules when building the submarine. Another flop was the use of carbon fiber instead of steel to make it lighter, even though some experts were concerned about its ability to handle deep-sea pressure. The Titan initially passed tests at pressures of 5,000 to 10,000 pounds per square inch. Experts say submarines face many dangers. They deal with pressure, strong water currents, and the risk of hitting rocks or sea creatures in the dark. So the reason Titan's submarine failed was its carbon fiber hull, which had pre-existing crack. In 2019, businessman Carl Stanley took a trip on the Titan and heard cracking sounds as they descended. He didn't think much of it at the time, but after the accident, he told CNN that the sound might have been a warning about the submarine's structural integrity. If true, this confirms that cracks had already begun to form in the Titan's hull. Experts believe the submarine likely imploded in less than a second at that depth. This tragedy shows us that it's great to have big goals and try new things, but safety should always. You can't just ignore the risk. Also, it showed us that we need to be smart about exploring dangerous places. We can try to do amazing things, but we also have to respect how tough it is to be there. Rush was a dreamer who loved taking risks. His story can inspire us to try new things, but it also warns us to be careful. And his work with the Titan submersible shows his belief in the potential of underwater tourism. So, what are your thoughts on this? Drop a comment below.